So I woke up the other day and the first thing that I seen was Jujutsu Kaisen selling 5 million copies in 2 weeks. Now for a lot of you that may mean absolutely nothing. You may not even care, but for a bit of context and clarity, for a manga that has around 140 chapters, selling 5 million copies would normally take 2 to 3 years. And that is if your story is well received and rather successful. That's a really good thing. Those are great numbers. Kaisen has done that number in 2 weeks, and it is only going to continue to grow throughout this year. Because where it was before the anime released, it was already extremely popular and extremely successful. I believe having anywhere around 6 to 7 million before the anime started airing. Where does it sit now? Only a handful of months later, 25 million copies sold in total. That jump from 6 to 8 million to 25 million in such a short period of time, thanks to such a well-crafted anime, is something that I didn't think we would see again, let alone so soon. Because that massive jump in success has only been seen once before, and it happened just recently. Demon Slayer went from a series that was relatively unknown. It was selling somewhat well and it was quietly coming to a conclusion. Yet the anime paid so much respect and beautifully brought Demon Slayer to life that the attention to it skyrocketed. And before you knew it, Demon Slayer has become a household name. It has broke records, it has surpassed some of the best and beloved series of all time, and it has done it all within borderline a singular year. And Demon Slayer has gone past the normal realm of just being extremely successful. It has literally kept Japan afloat throughout 2020. It is recognized by the Japanese government. It's not very often, if at all, you would ever get a series like that. Something that was borderline on the edge of obscurity and not really many people talking about it, to becoming such a vital piece of fiction to Japan's history. Demon Slayer will be a name that is remembered for years just based on its accomplishments alone, just what it has managed to achieve. Regardless of whether you like it or not, what it has managed to do is something series cannot even imagine. So a lot of us that was watching it unravel in front of our eyes just seen it as an anomaly, something that would never be replicated or achieved again until maybe 10, 20, 30 odd years down the line. Yet it is currently happening right now, and it's happening with Jujutsu Kaisen. Something so soon, something that's technically competing with it, but the level of success that Kaisen has managed to achieve in such a short amount of time is almost identical to Demon Slayer. If anything, the future projections for Kaisen puts it on the same level of Demon Slayer's success, if not higher. Not only because the manga was insanely successful before the anime in comparison to Demon Slayer that was not necessarily dying out, but once again relatively obscure, but also Kaisen is continuing, whereas Demon Slayer was coming to an end. This isn't a comparison about who's going to be more successful. This is an acknowledgement of how insanely impressive Jujutsu Kaisen's success has been and how unpredictable its future truly is. There's this really odd perspective of an anime being super successful and the manga not being so successful, and that the only reason a series is successful in general is because of its anime. Yet in reality, that's the whole purpose. With an anime being a different form of medium, the sales get reflected back into the manga. So while you're bringing something to life and showing it so much love and attention, people are running back to the manga. People are going back to read the source material and falling in love with it all over again. It's not disrespectful to say that an anime made this series successful, or it's quote unquote carried by the anime. That in itself is somewhat of a contradiction, because time and time again we have seen such beautiful anime adaptations come out for such incredible series, yet we don't see the numbers like Demon Slayer. We don't see the numbers like Jujutsu Kaisen, so tell me, what's the difference? Why are these two series thriving and blowing up and achieving numbers that no other series has, when other series have had just as good anime adaptations with just as good source material, if not better source material, if not a better anime adaptation? When you stretch out the perspective like that, the argument somewhat falls flat. If an anime is doing extremely well, its manga is most likely going to do extremely well, and that is the whole point. When I seen Demon Slayer blow up in front of my eyes, I honestly didn't think another series would touch it. But now that I see Jujutsu Kaisen evidently breaking the world, I'm a little bit more open to other series following in their footsteps. Maybe not to the same lengths, maybe not to the same numbers, but definitely blowing up in a way that we wouldn't have seen 2, 3, 5, 10 years ago. Something that we haven't seen. Because of Demon Slayer, because of Jujutsu Kaisen, a ripple effect has started. They have reignited the love for Japanese mythology mythology, curses for spirits, and paying so much respect to the Japanese lore and culture. Other series are now trying to do their own spin on it because of what these two series have managed to re-spark. Kaiju number 8 is a series that is taking its own direction with it, tapping into Japan's love for kaijus and Godzilla. And you would think that a series like this should have already been done before, and there have been some here and there that have fallen on deaf ears or no one has realistically read. But because of Demon Slayer and because of Kaisen, Kaiju number 8 is realistically thriving. It is doing extremely well. Phantom Zero is also getting a bit of love with its core value in Japanese mythology and spirits. But there is one that I am extremely interested in seeing in how it does, and that is none other than Chainsaw Man. This series is at the moment extremely unpredictable, because as much as it is wholeheartedly loved within Japan, being completely unpredictable and chaotic, it does not share the same core values as Demon Slayer or Kaisen. It is not tapping into that reignited spark and love for the Japanese culture. If anything, it has completely diverted away from it and brung in this chaotic aura that is not within Weekly Shonen Jump. And while the series has moved out from Weekly Shonen Jump to Jump Plus, the reception is still just as high. And now that an anime is coming on board for it, we could see another variation of Jujutsu Kaisen's success paralleled with Chainsaw Man. And I, for one, couldn't be more excited to see that happen. It may not be to the same lengths, it may not have the same viral effectiveness. Just seeing how people wholeheartedly love Chainsaw Man makes me extremely excited that if the anime is well received, is beautifully brought to life, I 100% see it achieving such incredible things. Not to mention a lot of these other manga that are rumored to be getting animes. One that is definitely on my radar and I could also easily see blowing up and achieving such insane numbers is Spy X Family. Something that has previously already broken records without an anime adaptation, without physical release, without being released weekly. That in itself is an anomaly. It's extremely impressive just how much Spy X Family has managed to achieve with it being completely different to what people would expect. Something has changed, something has shifted, but the love and appreciation for well-crafted anime and how that correlates back to its source material, to the manga, is now more than ever some of the, if not the most successful thing that you could try to achieve. Replicating Demon Slayer's success, replicating Jujutsu Kaisen's success, potentially Chainsaw Man's success, potentially Spy X Family's success. Over this year alone, I would expect to see a lot of series tap into that Japanese lore, and it's somewhat already started with author for Assassination Classroom dropping the Elusive Samurai, which, as you can tell, has a very Japanese-eccentric vibe and lore to it. It's paying very close homage to those values. There is a lot of bright futures here for different stories. It does not just stop with Demon Slayer, and it most likely won't just stop with Jujutsu Kaisen. But as of right now, Jujutsu Kaisen is breaking the world. It is taking it by storm. It's growing and evolving and changing, and with knowing what is to come for anime onlys, the arcs and events that you will get to witness, it is only going to grow bigger and bigger by the day. And I, for one, couldn't be more than happy that it is getting the attention that I feel it deserves. I am truly fascinated and excited to see how far it goes, what heights it manages to achieve, and it too becoming a household name within Japan, and even potentially across the globe. So with that being said, that is basically it. Let me know if you're impressed by Jujutsu Kaisen's success, and do you see it growing bigger than Demon Slayer, or if not the equivalent to it within the future? And how do you feel about other series like Chainsaw Man or Spy X Family, potentially Kaiju number 8, the series that are doing so extremely well right now? How do you feel they're gonna do when an anime comes around for them? Do you think they're gonna have a similar projection to Kaisen and Demon Slayer? I'd love to hear your thoughts, but I want to thank you all for watching. Hope you've enjoyed. Drink plenty of water, and I will see you within the next one. Goodbye.